almost as lifeless as I am. I guess. Congrats. So let's go into this final map of tonight. Hasn't quite started just yet, but obviously I had the warm-up in the background, which we are still going through with. What's up, Sam? Kappa. Hot jump. It always has to be one douchebag that buys a Nega or an M249 in spawn and just sprays everyone. It's RPK, isn't it? Of course it is. How do you say Edouard Duberdor? Is that right? Probably wrong. NA sound? Correct. If this sounds messed up, guys, refresh the stream. NA French, yeah, to be honest. I'm not even going to deny it. I think someone asked what knife Moddy had earlier. I believe it's a Huntsman Knight, I think. Moddy, come on. Show us that knife. Yeah, Huntsman Knight. But it seems like it's like field tested or something else. What's up, Stove? How you doing, bro? Ever try casting while drunk? No, sir. I don't really drink, to be honest. Here we go. Pistol round in map 2 between G2 and Heroic. First map went into overtime where Heroic lost out an 11-4 halftime lead. Going through onto their CT side. Very demoralizing loss. I think Valda even tweeted that he was hoping the second map would go a whole lot better. But here we go. We are going to be jumping into this one. And G2, whereas on their overpass, they actually went for full-on Glocks with Kevlar. This time they do have a bit of utility and a deagle in Hands of Scream. There's RPK. Headshot. Glaive. Instantly dead. Nothing you can do about that one. Well, actually, is a player to the left-hand side of them through the smoke who did get flashbanged. That's going to be Snappy, who starts to push his way through, but Smiths will just dispatch with him with a Glock headshot. RPK picking up the USP. Glaive's USP to be precise, using it against the CTs. And G2 looking to pick up from where they left off. From overpass. Smiths with the Glock. Not going to do a great deal with that, but now it's up to RPK. He's going to bag himself his third kill of the round, and it is actually a flawless round in the end as G2 will take it with ease, not losing a single player. Full house of frags. Smiths with 2, RPK with 3. Wow, I'm recognising quite a few names from my stream. Welcome. Full SMGs again. G2 did this earlier today. 4 MAC-10s and an MP7. Well then. Maybe a little bit greedy. But we'll see if it works out for them. Glaive and Moddy have just put down headshots onto RPK and Shocks. And this is why it's a bit greedy. It forces you to these hyper-aggressive plays. And against the pistols, this actually plays into their advantages. So G2 have been gutted in this round. The bomb dropped out in a horrible place. And now Scream with his deagle. And the MAC-10 trying to clutch. So, let's watch from Scream's perspective. He's trying to slowly, surely climb up the ladder. Doesn't quite go the way he's planning, and Freeze from behind will put him down. G2 went for a full SMG investment. It simply did not pay off. Where do they go from here? You're expecting another buy to come in. It was a late bite, but they do get some weapons overall. This is a strange one to me because you can see Shocks, Body, and Scream all down to about $500. RPK and Smiths on around $2,000 to $1,500. So it seemed like it was a very late call overall towards the end of the buy time. And it's Snappy who's going to be going up with a Mac 10, looking for the close range confrontations. Valden meanwhile is going to use the smoke to get into main. Glaive spams down onto Scream. A decent opening pick for Team X, who are using a lot of those weapons against G2 now that they retrieved in the previous round. 3-player strong push through Ivy will have Snappy to contend with. And there is Kevlar against him, so these won't be the freest of kills. Meanwhile, there actually is a knife frag for Molly, but let's keep on board here as Snappy is trying his best to stop the push. UMP now trades across. Shocks is so low. Valda's getting picked off from behind, and now Molly's going in for another knife, but Valda's going to steal it away from him. The cheeky plays. And Heroic will pick up another round. What the actual hell was that? Lolo Land, man. You actually fell for that? Bruh. Molly nearly with double knives. Round. Not quite though. Smith's up with Shocks and full-on pistol round. Going to be charging down towards Moddy, who should be able to clean up a bunch of frags here. There's going to be so much money into his back pocket. Actually only gets 2. And that's up to Freeze. This is money towards his alt fund. RPK next player to fall. That bomb's not going to be going any closer to the site. And now Scream's P250 is in all sorts of trouble. Just outside of the box halls. Bombs dropped in the box halls itself. And Scream is just delaying the inevitable. If you can take down a player or two with him, that would be certainly worth its weight in gold. But for now, Team X/Heroic are just waiting. And Scream's about to walk into a trap. Tagged up, gonna get fragged. You can see him go for the preemptive taps at head height, hoping for the best, but not going to connect today. Here comes a buy for G2. And Heroic have so much money to play with. It would surprise me a little bit if they hold on to that MP7. I feel like that's a little bit greedy. They must know that G2 are going to have full AKs into this round. So Snappy, are you really going to keep that SMG? Yes, he is. Alright then. The reason why I feel this is a little bit greedy is because the terrorists are always going to have head armor. The M4 can no longer just one-tap you. Fox is dead. What is Auto Director doing? Other than... But that's the problem. Snappy has the MP7, it's just not going to do anything. With the M4 there, he maybe would have got a frag, maybe even 2. And he had 7k behind it, so it seems like a pretty big risk to just throw out there. But you know that G2 have the full AKs coming in and are very potent players. Glaive though, is going to dig out of quite a big ditch. Valda and Glaive go massive, and Glaive actually gets the 3rd. Heroic with a solid lockdown will put G2 right back to the drawing board, and even in fairly fast rounds too. We haven't really seen G2 playing super passive. We haven't seen them go for any set plays on B. In actual fact, the majority of their attacks have been on A. The only time they've gone towards B is when they run into SMGs in a pistol round, so maybe that's something in the back of their minds here. Probably not into this round as they have no grenades to use. But surely into the next rifle round, this is something they might be thinking about. A potential B play. Oof. Tasty massive damage expended. That grenade banking off the wall doesn't quite finish off Body. The previous 2 bullets nearly took him down all by themselves. 4 health left for him. Glaive is holding this off and the damage just keeps being scraped off. G2 already down a solid amount of health. In the meanwhile, Smiths is hiding in Pop Dog by himself, or just outside of Pop Dog, waiting for the push. But it's all about Ali right now. There's So many smokes and mollies being expended between the two teams without too many frags. Glaive is playing very close up on the alley side, and if he just peers around the right-hand side, there's going to be a couple of frags for him, surely. 3 players in total, so he's playing this one passively, waiting for G2 to push. And now here comes the charge. He's got a lot of damage expended onto a bunch of different players. Glaive is going to be backing away, but there is Shox and his 1D. And Shox just chilling. Just chilling on the wall. So G2, I want to see if they start to execute on B. I'm curious. Double AWP setup for Heroic. A much better showing on their CT side. They only picked up 4 on overpass. Already have more than that now. It appears that we're not going to see a B execute anytime soon. That grenades and a bit of love tapping between the two teams put Smiths down at 65 and Scream on 87. So G2 again, judging by how split up they are across the board, more filtering out for picks than anything else. And this just hasn't been working for them so far. Is this caster Asian? He sounds Chinese. You got me, bro. Nailed it. Incredibly slow rounds for G2 now. It was pretty aggressive up until these last couple rounds, but understandable. They've got 2 ups of their own, so both teams are just looking for a pick at this stage, and Shox is kind of forced out into the open now as the molly lands just behind him. Smith's hoping for a glimpse of a pixel that he can convert into a frag. RPKs are using that smoke to his advantage, but runs right out into Snappy's hands. He's now going to be hungry for a second kill, but the smoke is going to stop the terrorists from pushing, and herein lays the issue. G2, you played far too slow. You only have 2 AWPs in play now. How do you possibly get the entries onto the site? They've been battered, they've been bruised, and they've just been knocked out. Heroic with a clear-cut round, 6-1 in the lead. And how do you even discuss that round? I mean, G2, they bought 2 AWPs. They wanted to play super passive, look for the picks through main. But then there was no plan B. It was like, we just have to hold on for a pick. 20 seconds, 25 seconds come up. They get obliterated. And now a force for G2. We'll see 2 AKs, an MP7, and a couple Tech 9s. So this round's looking dodgy. And we still haven't seen them execute on B. We haven't even seen them attempt to B hit. Decent molly. Glaive can't watch Ive anymore, so it allows Body to now push his way up. RPK with the entry, looking for a second one, does pick it up. Beautiful work by the tank. Can he get any further though? Yes, he can. Headshot onto Freeze, the 1 AK they had. Because apparently all they require. RPK's picked up a 4th kill. He's doing this all by himself, but now here comes Snappy. RPK has the chance of the clutch and also an ace. Will Snappy ruin the party? Still a lot of time to play with. A minute in total, so Snappy has a decision to make, as does RPK. Where do they want to come down with this? RPK makes a bit of noise. Snappy may very well have actually heard that as he is traversing through connector side. RPK's on the side. Oh, he so nearly gets spotted. Snappy, in the meanwhile, is coming round the side. He can hear the bomb being planted. RPK gets that bomb planted now. Snappy's not sure if it's down below or up. As soon as this smoke clears, RPK should be a dead man. Snappy's not sure, but he can see the shadow on the floor, and the shadow betrays RPK. No ace today for you, sir, but what a fantastic effort. Snappy, though, with a triple in the rounds, clutching it out the jaws of defeat. And G2, and their round loss continues. You could see that Snappy was watching the shadow on the ground, wondering where the player actually was, whether he was up or down. I wanted to make sure he converted it into the kill. So, very patient play. You can see what RPK was looking for. 4 kills in that round. Take nothing away from it. Look, I mean, look at the score. RPK's on 10. Everyone else on this team is collectively at 5. He's doubling his entire team's worth of frags. Somebody get this man a chiropractor. Body with a quick fire entry. Smiths is almost saying, come on bro, jump on me. Not like that. And there's the result. Body's going to get a second frag. Glaive has been behind the Ivy box before. And that's going to get himself very quickly eradicated. Team X / Heroic with Valda and Freeze left. Both of them on the Ivy side. Spray down. Smith is going to die first. Valda's looking for a second one. Very narrowly misses out, actually. If his crosshair was slightly lower, it would have been a second headshot. And Freeze is going to put down the damage. He's picked up 2 kills in quick succession. We've been here before, G2. We have been here before. Fortunately, Shox is not going to allow G2 to make the same mistake twice. Heroic will have another buy, and a very good one at that. Will they go for double AWP? I'm curious. Yes, they will. Snappy's going to get the second one again. Very even fragging, actually, on the side of Heroic. No one's really outshining anyone else. Everybody's got 5+ frags. Screams on 1 for 8. Not really a player that you often say that about. He's typically one of the guys that you're looking for to land a fair chunk, a high percentage of the kills in your team. Modi in a pretty standard position at this point. He's going to have Valda also on B. Typically with the double AWP setup, you have one of the AWPs on the B side, but it just goes to show how little impact G2 have had on B. But here comes the execute. Finally, we're going to get one, but it's gone horribly wrong. Maybe this is why they haven't been playing this so far. Scream will be taking down Modi, who is up on the ledge. But Heroic are going to answer back, answer the call of that first round in 7 with a quick avenging round of their own. And now G2's economy has gone from bad to a whole lot worse. Maybe that's why we haven't seen too many B plays. G2 not comfortable there at all, it would seem. And now back to their standard play. Smith's actually running through the flames there. Not respecting it at all. That grenade, though, does so much damage. Scream, Shox, RPK all get bodied in an instant, and it's just all too easy now for the CTs. There's so much smoke, you can barely see anything from their perspective. Scream's going to land the one tap onto Modi as he tries to power his way up through the bathrooms. And now it's all on Scream. Picking up the M4. That nade, though. Jesus. Nice shot by Scream. Gives his position away, however. With the bomb over an Ivy from his position right now, he'd have to go through a couple of the CTs. I'll look for Valda, though. He's coming down very quickly. He's made a lot of noise, though, on his way in. It surprises me a little bit why he's rushing in there. Scream can still clutch this round. He still has 42 seconds left on the timer. I've got to say, Heroic will probably still clutch this round. They'll probably still take this round. But that is very odd to see them just running in single column. Scream with the AWP now. He's going to be coming down into Pop Dog. 20 seconds left. I think at this point he just wants to save, but there was a little while there where I thought he might go for this. The thing is, for G2, we've been here before. They were getting wrecked and rinsed pretty hard on Overpass, and then came back from an 11-4 half-time deficit. So I don't want to write them off just yet. I should also mention that Glaive, look at that score. He's got 10 frags, but 8 assists after 12 rounds. He's been involved in 18 frags. Heavily involved in 18 frags so far. That is nuts. But the kill difference between top and bottom frag run Heroic is only 4. Snappy's top of 11, Modi's on 7. There's nothing even remotely like that for the side of G2. That needs to change. They can't put everything on RPK. Shox is going to get the opening pick onto B. But quickly, Freeze will dart around with his AWP. He's now in connector side. Pushing onto the site himself. He's going to be peering up onto the catwalk, I think. And there's Glaive again, involved in yet another frag. This time it's going to be Scream who goes down. A pretty standard setup for a 4-on-4 scenario now for Heroic. With one of their AWPers on B. The other one is Snappy at the back towards Ivy. Glaive around Green Train, and then finally Valder is just pushing towards the E-box side. Now, G2 have decided that B is the site of choice. What worries me about this is they have no smokes to execute on the site with, so that should allow Freeze to open up with his AWP. And the way he was playing over Overpass, you wouldn't put it past him to land some shots here. It's all down to timing, though. You can see he looked away at the worst possible moment. Shox has now had a chance to push. He did see the barrel of the gun peeking through, so the call's going to come through now. And now really what Freeze needs to do is just stay alive. If he can get a frag before dying, then even better for it. But he's not able to do it. And now the rest of the CTs are starting to crumble. So Freeze did have a couple of opportunities there. Unable to convert. And that will cost Heroic the round. So a solid decision in the end, courtesy of G2. But you better believe that Freeze is going to be disappointed with that outcome. Fix audio. Refresh the stream if you have some issues with sync problems. It'll fix it after a refresh. G2 pick up a third round. Going into winning ways over the last 4 or 5 rounds, but we'll keep it up. Heroic again will have a bye, and they'll be able to afford another one next round more than likely, depending on how this goes. Well, there's going to be first one in on top of the site. 2 players up into Ivy once again for G2 through the alleyway. It was an aggressive push to start off with the Shox. He actually got his opening pick in the last round from an identical position. There is Smiths, though. Gets the upper hand onto Snappy, and Glaive's been behind here before. They boosted last time to make sure they got the frag, and Glaive runs out to the opening, gets picked off, so this is a huge passage of play. G2 looking in control. Heroic may be getting a bit too antsy, a bit too aggressive. It costs them big. It's not to say the round's over just yet, but all of the early advantages going the way of G2. It seemed like a very fast reactive shot as well by Smiths. Snappy didn't really have a chance to react there. He was dead before he knew what hit him. Now what happens in this kind of situation, a lot of teams will start to play aggro. In a 3v5 when you're desperate for information, I like this from Moddy. He's trying something. It may end up backfiring completely, but he is trying to make something work. He's also flashing the other side of the box source to try and make it sound as though he's up on the catwalk side, whereas actually he's right behind us. So Moddy's played this one perfectly thus far. Freeze going to take that away from him, but it's okay. He comes in with a quick fire double. No, he doesn't get the double spray down. RPK's on 1 health. That's unreal. Moddy deserved way better from that. I actually feel he played that almost perfectly. That flash towards the opposite side of box source was really intelligent, but it just didn't work out. Incredibly unlucky. 1 health left for RPK. Oh, I'm actually gutted for him. I like to see big players get rewarded, and it just didn't work out. But as expected, another buy will come in. G2 are starting to salvage this half. It was looking like it would be a horror show. But now becoming a bit more respectable. 11-4 would still be incredibly one-sided. If Heroic could convert from here, Freeze will punish Smiths. Tries to jump across to safety on the E-box side. Valder's playing this one quite aggressively, so he needs to be careful because a couple of players here. But look at Moddy! The position of Moddy, he somehow got round the back of Bathroom. I didn't even notice this. I assume he just pushed up long, really aggro. But now Body, what is this timing? Body's looking the other way. Seriously, this can't happen. Body's about to see him and be like, what the... Look how he reacted. His crosshair, like, flicked. He's like, what the... How'd you get there, mate? Oh, my God. Freeze now backs away with your nice reaction speed. Oh, a second beautiful freeze, taking this round away from G2. Body's trying to put it back in their favour again. Freeze narrowly missing out on the lacerating player of Body. 13 seconds. Body has to go for this one. And Freeze is there for the no-scope. Exquisite AWP. He gets the ace. What a monster. 15 and 7 goes Freeze. Single-handedly takes the round. What a strange round of Counter-Strike that was. Moddy's push. Body's knife slash... I have no idea how the hell you got there. And then Freeze just turning it up a few notches. The grenade spam into main is going to knock Shocks down to 63. The Screamer's out here. Be very disappointed he didn't actually get that kill. It did look pretty much on his head from my perspective, but such is the way of CSGO. Snappy. He's going to put down Body, and 11-4 will be the halftime scoreline. G2 were looking like they were resurrecting their T-half, but they just got too far away from them. However, we've been here before, ladies and gents. Casting mine back to Overpass. An identical scoreline. Saw Heroic in an 11-4 lead. I should mention, though, under different circumstances. Last time G2 were 11-4 going through into their T-half. Now they're going through into their CT-half. The CT-half of both teams at Overpass was really bad. So the fact that Heroic have already picked up 11 will be interesting. Train, a whole different beast, of course, to Overpass anyway. But can Heroic finally get themselves over the finish line? They choked last time super hard. That could be in the back of their minds.
Counter-terrorists win.
What do you guys reckon? Will Lightning strike twice? Do you think G2 can come back from a deficit twice? I'm not even going to predict anything. I said last time I thought it was completely over and Heroic were going to win easily. Well, we saw how that turned out. What do you reckon? It's not the pistol, it's still a warm-up, guys. I just like to leave on for you so you can get something, rather than like an AFK screen. Overtime. You guys calling the overtime, really? Okay. Well, again, this next pistol is super important. G2 took it last time around. Then again, it should be mentioned that G2 won the first pistol. So one of their 4 rounds was in the pistol. Dust Juice saying 16-8. I think 16-8 is a fair scoreline if Heroic win the pistol. I think it could definitely go towards 16-8. 16-4. So, Jan, you think that Heroic are just going to win outright from this point? I'm not so sure about that. I think G2 will pick up at least 1 round. Alright, ladies and gents, here we go. Final pistol of tonight's proceedings here on the B stream for EU ESL. G2 winning the first map over time on Overpass 1916 in the end, breaking the hearts of Heroic. They don't have a chance at redemption. But are they going to choke again? Are they going to let that lead slip? If they win this pistol, they move a big step towards, a leap towards winning this map, which would make things very interesting in the standings of EPL. But have a quick look at where Freeze is with the bomb. So he's actually sat here at the moment getting boosted up from Valda. G2 playing a fairly static defense, not really giving anything away, just peering at the long angles. Of course, that's where the USP will have the upper hand over the Glock, so it makes a lot of sense, but I'm somewhat perplexed as to this very passive split approach. They're going to be hitting this from 3 different angles. So you can see Money's going to be coming from Pop Dog, Snappy from Main, and the rest of the terrorists will be coming through from Ivy. And here we go. The Glocks are going to be pushing in. Smiths is watching the angles to make sure he backs away. But in the meanwhile, it's RPK that will break the deadlock in this round. But the frags are going back and forth in favour of the terrorists with Scream so low. One bullet will end his life. He's behind the site, but Shox is putting down the damage. Snappy picks up the USP, but he's not able to land any shots just yet. What's that from Shox? He spins around on one-tap Snappy. I thought that round was convincingly going in the way of Heroic as soon as they burst out of Ivy. Not the case. G2 hold on for dear life. Heroic will not be going for a buy. Interesting. So, they do have a vast round buffer. Don't want to be rushing into anything just yet. A bomb plant would be pretty good here. I do worry for Body. If Body derps this, if he doesn't get the spray down in effect, he could become overrun by terrorists. I actually like the fact he's backing away here. This may very well sacrifice the bomb plant, which for Heroic should be more than good enough, considering they've invested pretty much nothing into this round. And indeed it will be a bomb plant. So, you know, all things considered, strangely enough, you don't have to say this, strangely enough, I think both teams will be fairly happy with how this has gone. G2 in the sense they've kept all the weapons intact, they've got money coming out their neck now with the amount of farming frags they just picked up. But Heroic will be happy because they got a bomb plant. They had nothing in that round, so now they can get a solid buy with AKs. Now, when you look at the discrepancy between the two teams' equipment value at the top, it paints the full picture. G2 likely will keep all of their SMGs here. I don't really foresee anybody dropping their SMGs. And at this point, Heroic have by far the better weaponry in their hands. AKs far superior to any of these weapons. So we've got into a position now where this is actually really sketchy for G2. So they're going to go for the 2-man death punch, and it's going to be beautiful. Body and Shox, both with big frags. That alleviates so much of the pressure that I was just piling on top of this round. The SMG is coming out ahead for now. Blade's going to eat that grenade to the face. Bounces in his pocket. Body with 1 kill. Can't trade it out for a second one. Now Scream's going to try and tap long range with the USP. This flash isn't going to stop the plants. Freeze will still get it down. Valda in the meanwhile, look at where he is. He's in no man's land. He's way behind enemy lines. He's nowhere near his teammate. Our PK gets picked off, and now Freeze has to just stay alive for dear life. They know that the last player is miles away. Valda's going to have to try and stop this defuse. It's not going to happen. Scream's on it right now. He doesn't actually have a kit, but there's just not enough time. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. It's going to be defused. What is the play there? Why is Valda so far away from his team? I understand that he's going for the flank, but at some point you've got to get a move on when that bomb's planted. You know that Freeze is effectively in a 1-on-3. So we're talking about how the SMG's far inferior to the AKs, but they end up winning. G2 did lose 4 weapons, but they're not going to care about that. They can now upgrade to AWPs and M4s instead. Whereas Heroic now fall back onto their sword somewhat, and it's going to be a Techno and a UMP, but it is boosted up with AK, so still anybody's round. Plenty of grenades, including 3 mollies, 4 smokes in total. Again, though, very much a split and pick composition positionally for Heroic. Could be another triple-pronged attack onto A, which we have already seen before. It did work pretty decently in the round, up until the moment where Shox just went ham with the USP. But of course, with full weapons, there's a lot more dynamics to play with. The grenades themselves can pretty much stop a push before it gets started. This is a pretty integral part to this puzzle as far as G2 are concerned. The fact that Body's got up here and information has been gathered now allows the remaining 4 players of G2 to now stack the site, and they don't have to worry too much about this. RPK could be the man. He's been spotted. He's playing ring around the frame with Freeze and finally gets him. And that's going to be RPK pretty much just locking down this round. Modi's got a decent position. Nice headshot. There's 2 ops to play against, and more importantly, Body behind him. So for me, the key part of that round was Body moving into the box halls, spotting out that no terrorists were waiting for the set play, and actually getting around the back of Pop Dog. So, a couple of big passages of play. Heroic not leaving anybody out into the box halls to make sure that a CT didn't actually go scouting. And now they are into an eco. So, G2 once again coming back from an 11-4 deficit. They still got a bit of ground to cover yet, but they're getting there. Mori not quite on point, although the screen was dropped to 12. Up, rings out, an arrow miss, Smiths, another swing and a miss. This time he does connect, but it's just a partial tag, so Glaive will live to fight another day, albeit with a Glock. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown that across the Freeze, so he's much healthier in terms of HP, only has a Glock to play with. In the heat of the battle, maybe, just wants to run with it. This is where the Techno would be beneficial as Freeze is on top of the train. Snappy, if he lands that shot in mid-air with the Deagle, I'd have been sick in my mouth. But somehow, someway, G2 are actually conceding quite a few frags and a lot of damage at the same time. Shox on 32 on the site by himself for now. Now he has the backup, and Smiths lays it out with the USP. 2-round lead now for Heroic, but it will be a bye. So in total 3 orbs, 1 for Freeze. Let's have a look at his spawn. Nothing too spectacular, but he can have a quick peek down onto the long side if he so chooses, which he is, but no one's home for the CTs. Smiths, again, in a very similar position to last round, up on the green train, looking into main. And it will be Shox who's using his AWP on B. His teammate, his tag team partner on B, a Body who again went walkies on box halls, this time will be picked off. Smoke forces Smiths out of play. There is an incendiary to answer back, however, meaning that Heroic can't push through just yet. More mollies are falling down. Smiths goes for the peek. That's so cheeky, and he gets away with it. Going to be popping back in with RPK. Glaive can't see a single thing. He is blind. He is dead. Will play no further part in this round. That is beautiful teamwork by G2 when the ball's on Smiths to go for that peek through the 5, through the flames. Impressive. Heroic now realising they have got to get a move on into this round. Freeze narrowly misses out on the shot. He did see Smiths there, going to be throwing in the flashbang. Smiths, meanwhile, is going to be charging through that too. Freeze connects the shot in the back. I'm not sure what Smiths was hoping to achieve there. And our Freeze with a double frag suddenly gives the advantage to the Danes. It's looking, all of a sudden, pretty damn good. Snappy sees Scream. This kill could secure the round nicely for the terrorists, but Snappy is going to spray down onto Shox and out up to Scream. Already picked off Freeze. The AWP will fall down by the wayside. And now the legend of G2 has to try and pull off a play out of thin air. Oh my goodness, that timing could not have been better for Snappy. He was around the ladder, decided to move around the train as Scream went to check, and Heroic have finally got themselves on the scoreboard on their T half. G2 will have a bye. They have the option to go for double ups again, and they've gone for it. So this is a very heavy investment, ladies and gents. If they lose this round, this could be a 2-for-1 round for Heroic. Could be into an eco for G2. Bodies M4, all that is on B at the point of the round where it doesn't necessarily matter a great deal. They're not expecting a fast B play. Barnes going to be coming through. He nearly actually spins for a second frag. RPK does answer back with a lot of damage. Tries to relocate to the left-hand side of the wall from his perspective and try and catch Glaive unawares. And it very nearly worked. Glaive's down to 7. But that trade very much going in favour of Heroic, which is a much needed trade at that. This is their way to bounce back into the map. They'll be feeling legit. There's a little bit. Freeze just catches the ass of Scream, sticking through the wall. And Freeze will pound Scream's ass. Didn't think I'd say that when I woke up this morning, but there we go. Take from that what you will. Smiths could get a close range confrontation. AK will triumph over the AWP, however, and this round is quickly getting out of control. Glaive at the plant. Body likely with the save. As I mentioned earlier, the economy. Jesus, body's like spinning around doing pirouettes. This isn't ballerina, mate. This is war. Wants to try and save the M4 anyway for his team as best he can. Glaive probably should be a dead man. Can't probably hold on to this M4 though. This would be a pretty big save if you can pull this off. It may not get a buy behind it, but at least give them a bit of a power play to use. Snappy, next player to fall, but the remaining terrorists will be coming from both upper and ramp. How is Body still alive? He actually runs out of bullets. It's going to cost him huge. No M4 for you today, G2. G2 will not have a buy either. This is rough, man. This is the time of the map where it comes to the crunch time. This is where the finish line is in sight. And Heroic is starting to pick up speed. It was looking really shaky for them, really sketchy for the first few rounds. Well, indeed, the first 5 or so rounds of this second half, but they're doing what they can to hold on firm. 2 players this time, Shocks and Body. Getting a P250 crossfire down onto ramp. And Modi could be in for some frags and some action right here, right now. First kill, and it should be a second one. And the spray is going to connect. So padding those stats. Freeze. Oh, okay then. RPK just got spanked. I thought as soon as Freeze missed that first shot, seeing what RPK was, I thought he'd be a dead man, but Freeze is just landing them. Where they count. Screamed out with a deagle. Oh, that wasn't far off. Glaive's lucky to be alive. Scream will not survive any longer through into this round, and here we go. This could be it. This could be do or die for G2. They're at a part of the league right now where I think they were 6th coming into this couple of maps. I'm not entirely sure if that was after the first map was taken into consideration, but they're in that kind of mid-table scrap where every map is essential for them to pick up. So this is huge for Heroic too, but I think they're 4 for 9 right now, so they may be out of play, they may be out of contention. But they're going in. It's for pride. And Snappy with the quickfire headshot and a second one. Beautiful entry work by Snappy. The surgical precision opens up B. And then actually gets the team kill onto Modi, who decided, screw it. Life's overrated anyway. I'll just run into that nice flamey pile of mess. Why not? Rip Scream. RPK lands a handy shot. And a second one, keeping this round alive. It's now a 2-on-2. They don't have a kit, however, or a smoke to try and fend this off. Fortunately for them, there isn't a Molotov that's going to be thrown out from long. And there goes RPK. He's going to get picked off, and now it's on Smith. He gets sprayed down on the retreat. Heroic have 6 map points. So look at the scoreboards, who the movers are. Freeze, 24 and 14. Solid AWP work. Top fragging by a little bit of a margin, actually. I thought it'd be closer than that, but fair play to him. Everybody on the side of Heroic is 15 frags and over. Impressive. Again, how many times do you see Scream at 8 for 20? This is a guy you're expecting to be right up there with the very best. Another one of those is Shocks. And he's going to make that 5-7 work for him. Scream from the backside. Speak of the devil. He comes in. And we'll trade out the MP9 for an AK. So maybe the Dreamers will be a bit resuscitated a little while longer. Freeze lands his 25th frag. RPK hiding in the shadows with the flashbang, lands perfectly. Gets the spray down afterwards. So, all credit to G2. I thought this pretty much would be them bowing out of the map. But they're refusing to be a tough team to take down. Freeze is still alive, however. Glaive's about to walk into a trap. You have to feel. He has the AK, but Smith's holding the angle. Puts the 5-7 to use. And that's on this man. You wouldn't hold it against him if he died because of the positions of the CTs. And that's what's going to happen instantly. Moves up to 26. It will be another buy for Heroic if they so choose. They can afford. Glaive, of course, could drop an AWP and then buy an AK if he so chose. Let's see what they're going to do with this one. Yeah, there's the AWP drop. It'll go in the hands of Freeze. The rest of the players will come through with the AKs and the Galil. So all things considered, actually pretty decent buy. Freeze go for the peek. Gets picked off courtesy of Shocks, and that a dropped AWP will not play any further part in this round. At least not in the hands of Freeze. The G2 are doing it right now. Some people actually called at the start of this half it'd go to overtime. I don't even. Very spread out attack. Valda up. Looking into Ivy. He's about to be joined by Glaive, the bomb carrier. Moddy in team main. And Snappy, who is currently in Pop Dog. We've seen this set play a whole bunch of times from Heroic. Has had varying degrees of success. Smiths is maybe about to get pop flashed into an AWP shot. Moddy with style. The no scope is going to connect RPK, next player to fall. Moddy wants to stay in this round as long as possible, but look where that bomb's dropped. It's out towards Ivy. It's 35 seconds left. This is asking a lot. And judging by the economy now of Heroic, it may be worth trying to save. The problem is, though, if Moddy tries to save and he gets killed after time, that's where we get into a ball-busting territory as far as the terrorists are concerned. So he may have half a mind to see what he can get done. Only 10 seconds. I think at this point he just does have to tap out and save. Oh, the CT is going to come straight towards him. No, Moddy, no, it's gone horribly wrong. He does die a second before time. Okay. Okay, exhale. Exhale. It's not quite as bad as it could have been. Alright, G2. Up against a full eco. Courtesy of Heroic. Are we going to see some kind of a fake here? Judging from the positions, it could very well be a fake. I'm curious. Glaive is lagging behind the rest of his team a little bit, but actually what I thought would happen is we'd see sort of like Glaive go up Ivy or something and the rest of his team push B, and then Glaive try and get a cheeky plant on A. But that's not going to be the case here. It looks as though the entirety of Heroic will just be hitting B together and hoping for the best. It is the kind of site where really you can get those rush plants down. We've seen this before. Molly's going to be playing much closer this time around though, but he's going to get overran from terrorists. The Molly's going to land. It's going to be enough to actually stop the bomb plant. No, it's not. It did go down. So Heroic can be pretty happy with that result. Again, invested nothing into the round, got a bomb plant. That's going to be more grenades in the back pocket. That should also be an AWP. Indeed it will. Couple players on 6k. I'd be surprised to see double AWP set up now for Heroic. I feel like just running with one AWP would be the worthwhile endeavour. I want to see what Snappy's got here. It's going to be AK, right. So I think that's the right play. They could have afforded 2 AWPs, but on the T side, I feel like that's too much of an investment. You want the more explosive AKs to get up in the face or set plays. More of an aggressive start to this round for Heroic. Doesn't necessarily paint the full picture as to what's about to happen. But Freeze gets the opening pick there onto A. And that could keep a couple of the CTs interested on the A site. And now Freeze is going to be running across and being real bait. You can see the rest of the team is filtering out on the B side. But Freeze is now an Ivy. So all he needs to do for this to be successful is to draw out one of these CT players. But the fact they've just seen the smoke and the set play coming in right now means that not only are these 2 players going to stay here, but it's probably going to be joined by a connector player soon. In the meanwhile, Freeze will be trying to dart his way through Ivy, and we'll get the frag on the backside. So this is looking good now for Heroic. Freeze, in the meanwhile, is right up close next to Scream. Scream will get the first frag. It would be a 1v5 clutch. And it's not going to happen. Heroic have pulled the trigger and finally got over the finish line. They're not going to choke again. And this series goes 1-1. G2 will be disappointed. Heroic will feel like they've got some kind of revenge. Like they've got a bit of redemption for the overpass performance. That's going to do it for tonight, ladies and gents, here on the B stream for EU. I believe there's some NA stuff coming up later. But that's me done. I'm knackered. I'm going to get myself a bit of rest. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Have a nice day.